Hello, boys and not boys. Well, welcome to the General Gaming Show.
General Gaming Show?
I was so stunned by that comment.
All right, that's all right. Hi, guys. Today we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but I'm actually going to start this show with this new segment. This is episode 3. The reason you're not confused, you haven't missed anything. The thing is that episode 2 got kind of muddled in bad microphones and stuff, so we decided not to air it. Actually, maybe someday we'll air the bad version.
Extra material.
The extra material, yeah. the episode 2 we talk about our favorite characters. Maybe we'll re-record it because it's kind of a fun topic.
Mm-hmm.
But for today we're going to talk about the thing about violence and influence on video games has on our lives and stuff like that. But I'm going to begin with a new segment that I like to call "Have You Heard the News?"
And this is not a spin-off of Have You Met Ted?
Have you heard the news?
All right.
So I'm going to tell you 3 news stories. And you're going to have to react to them.
Okay.
And we have no idea what they are.
Yeah.
No.
So here's the first new story. The Environment and Animal Organization PETA attacks Warhammer 40k because they have fur on their armor. They've added fur on their armor, and in the universe and in the game, the animals have it very horribly. So PETA kind of don't want they want them to take the fur off the armor.
Oh wow! And this is like the armor in a game.
Right? It's the armor in Warhammer 40k is kind of like a figure game at first.
Yeah, I know.
But I know that it's a I think in this instance actually from a game.
All right. Well, that's interesting how PETA reacts to something that is not IRL, so to speak.
They've done it before.
They've done it before. Okay, I don't know much about what they've said before, but I'm more like, wow, I didn't know they did that. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. But if they want to, sure, do it.
I suppose I see their points, but I can't really bring myself to care that much. It's a game still.
Yeah, there's some sort of line between what happens in reality and what happens.
And also, it wouldn't be fair if I said something because I tend to wear leather all over.
That sounds interesting.
Not in that kind of scenario.
This is a part of the statement that they did. They did. Indeed, nothing on the bloody battlefields of Warhammer conflict-ravaged universe would match the terrible reality that the foxes, minks, rabbits, and other living beings experience at the hand of the fur trade. Those killed for their fur typically first endure a bleak life inside a tiny, filthy wired cage before being electrocuted, drowned, or even skinned alive. While we appreciate that they are fictional, draping them in what looks like a replica of a dead animal, sends the message that wearing fur is acceptable, when in fact it has no more place in 2017 than it would in the year 4000. In the year 40,000.
Well, that is actually pretty legit.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sensible reasoning. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of it that way myself at first, but I completely get their argument now that I hear it.
Yeah, that's what I meant from the beginning when I said I see the point.
Yeah.
Yep. Huh.
Yeah, number 2. More of a sad story than anything. Namco founder Masaya Nakamura dies at the age of 91. This is the guy he's an industry legend who was there. He founded the company, and he's been there during when they took over the racing and the fighting genres with Tekken and Ridge Racer. And he was also there for the development of Pac-Man.
Oh. Well, that's sad.
Waka 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 waka.
Waka waka.
Waka waka indeed.
Yeah, actually I already heard that one though. What I would like to know more is like what he did exactly, what he developed more.
He was involved with the development. I have some games here. I can actually. He was an old person, so it wasn't. It was very recently, like yesterday, I think. I can look it up. But more like, what do you think about it?
It's not the first time.
Well,
Well, Nintendo had a very sad passing a while back.
It's a continuation of 2016 Year of Sadness. All these people have been prominent figures in media of different kinds. Just so many died last year, so this sort of seems like an extension of that. It's very sad.
Yeah, they all go sometime.
Yeah, they do.
and again, he was 91 years old.
That's very, very impressive. He must have had a fun life then. Done the things he loved. And maybe he gained a few extra years because of it.
Exactly.
Alright, what's the third piece of news you've got for us?
Let's do the third one too. Here's a little more like a fun one. I don't know if you cares. I know one of you definitely cares, but one may not. Overwatch passes 25 million players.
Oh my god, I'm not surprised. I'm so not surprised.
My comment to this is, what is Overwatch?
It is okay, it is okay.
Should you be in this panel?
Should I be? I didn't know the previous guy.
It's only like the biggest game of last year, pretty much. You know, it's a competitive first-person shooter.
Yep, with lots of awesome characters.
Yeah, and lots of lore.
And lots of lore. Very
Yeah,
much
I'm not
lore.
surprised either that they passed that many players.
No, because they've managed to gain a fan base that does not play the game. I think that's.
What
I don't
console
know.
is
I
that
don't
on
know.
anyway?
All of them.
All of them,
All
pretty
of
much.
them.
Xbox One and PS4 and PC mostly.
Yep.
Oh, so it's a new game anyway.
Yeah, it's from
since
2000.
last year, right?
Yeah, it's like May. I thought it was released May.
Yeah, I
Last
think
year.
it is. But they have so much lore. They've
I
such
think I was too busy with all the new Forza games.
Might have been. They got very much like good background stories for all of the playable characters. Really beautiful design, really colorful. And I think many people just fall for it because of how it looks. And it's really interesting to delve into the story behind the game as well, which is sort of like a separate entity from the game itself, because the game itself is basically matches. You're going to shoot each other, and that's it to like protect the payload. While the lore, it stands separate from that. And it's real fun to dive into it and learn about the world itself, because it's really well constructed. So they gained a lot of fans because of that, and I think lots of people who sort of just happened onto the lore have started playing the game as well. So I think they have players who are not interested in FPS in the beginning. I think they are playing it, so they've done a good job.
Yeah, as for me not having played that game, I'm just going to go ahead and take revenge on that right now. Who of you have played Senko no Ronde?
No.
That doesn't matter.
Not me! Bam! He
How about
says.
Amp 2?
I played them too.
Okay, you played Amp 2?
Yeah,
Great
of course
game.
I have. It's a great game.
I haven't.
Yeah. No, I actually haven't played Overwatch. I've heard about it, but I haven't played it.
I played like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I sucked because I haven't played FPS games before. I can't aim.
I'm one of those. I hate when games and consoles have paid subscription just to make me play online. So I haven't played it online because of that.
But you can pay a one-time fee. It's like you buy the game and then you can play.
No, not on the PS4. I can't. You have to.
Not on the Xbox One either.
No, if you want to play it with online, always you have to pay a
Okay.
subscription.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that sucks.
That sucks.
That's
a
why I
lot.
don't play
Yeah.
online much.
Yeah, same here. If I
I
want to
didn't
play
know.
online, I'll play on PC.
Yeah, I've only played on PC, so I didn't know.
Yeah,
Like-
I
Here is-
think I'm gonna play it on PC if I have
I just want to say,
buy it.
here is
Do
the
it.
truly crazy thing. The same game that is free to play online on PC cost money. You still need Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah.
Like I'm referring to the Mount and Blade Warband game.
Yeah.
It is completely free to play online on PC. It costs money to play online on Xbox One. It's the exact same game.
Yeah. It's like they feel like it's the server costs, and I don't know why they do that. and I
Like,
don't know why
yeah.
they can't have a free, good online service.
Yeah, they could include it in the original price and make it go around from the start
Yeah,
or something. I don't
agreed.
know.
Agreed. Then they've done some cool stuff with it, like this games with gold for the Xbox and the
Yeah, which is kind of stupid because
PlayStation Plus
gold makes it
things.
sound like it's a premium service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When really it is the absolute basic service for any
Yeah.
online play.
Yeah, definitely. But still, it's still they do put some stuff in there. You get free games every month, and I like that. I
That
can
is
live
nice.
with that. If I
Yeah.
get a free game every month, I can live with that. That's
But
why
I can live without that if I have to pay less.
I too can live without that if I have to pay less. Definitely. So yeah, that's the. Have you heard the news?
Yay!
So let's talk about violence.
Yes.
Because we all love violence, don't we?
Or do we?
Yes, we like the violence and the killing and the blood spurts of the orcs and the Jedi. Oh,
Indeed so.
sorry about that. Something came over me.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so violence in video games has been a conversation piece ever since GTA and Mortal Kombat reared their ugly faces on the market.
Yeah, as I recall, it was Mortal Kombat that started the whole
Yeah.
age rating thing.
Definitely.
Wow.
It's the first time that people understand that, okay, we need to have a rating.
Games are not
Otherwise,
just
it's
for
been like
kids.
games that everyone can play, and then we have the porn games,
Oh.
like Custer's Revenge, that was like sold under the desk and featured a black cover. It was
Oh
nothing
my.
on it. It was like a black cover that you can't see.
Okay, now I just gotta ask, how come you are so familiar with this game?
I've actually watched a video game show called The Angry Video Game Nerd. And most of you maybe have heard of that as well. So,
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and he went. He played all these like very porny kind of games. They're horrible. It's like this is like Commodore 64 times. So it's the Amiga. So it's
Those
very
graphics.
very
Ooh, pixels.
No,
It's always pre-pixelated.
I actually think it's like it was on the Atari 500, 5000, or 5200, and the Atari 2600. I don't know, but it's been just violence and stuff like that made me wonder: does playing violent video games and stuff like that, does it affect us? What's your thoughts?
Well, I have thoughts and then I have some facts.
Let's go with thoughts first.
Thoughts first, okay. So I think that it's just like with anything that you see or read, I think that which you experience with your eyes or ears or yourself, it will affect you somehow.
I think everything affects you.
Yeah, because some things can stay with you for a long time. You can have nightmares. It can sort of stay with you and bug you.
And it
If it's
affects
a-
your way of thinking too.
Yeah, it might do that. And so if you see something that scares you or creeps you out, that can stay in your mind for such a long time. So I think that if you see something that is violent in a way that you find disturbing, then I think that will stay with you and affect you like negatively. Emotionally, it will make you down. It will make you sad.
But I think it's not just like on an emotional level or like even a conscious level, but I think everything affects you on a subconscious level as well, just the way you interact with your surroundings.
I watched La La Land yesterday and I want to dance. I still
So that
want to dance.
affected you.
And maybe that's kind of the same thing if you play a very like gritty and dirty and a very cool game. You just want to walk around with a little coat and your
Steal a
guns,
car,
steal a
punch someone
car.
in the face.
Yeah. When it comes to like being affected by movies and video games, I just want to ask, how many people out there applied to the martial art class you're now in after watching, let's say, a Bruce Lee movie? Well, like 99% of you?
The Matrix.
The Matrix, indeed.
It was the thing is, I know that the thing when we talk about violence in video games, you obviously have to talk about the age restriction thing, because the violence itself maybe isn't that bad. If I play someone who bashes a guy's head in a game, doesn't mean that I want to do that in real life, because I have a moral code. I know that that's not a right thing to do, but I also know if I do in a video game, it's consequence free.
Indeed. And
and
you don't actually hurt anyone in the game.
I don't actually hurt anyone in the game. So there's the big argument for violence in games, and violence exists, and if games gonna be a serious media, violence has to exist inside the video game as well, in the right way. But the problem is when 9, 10, 11-year-old plays GTA and they don't have that moral compass yet. Not that steadfast moral compass. Some of them might do, but they very easily can get...
Yeah, so that brings out the question then. Should they get their own section, kind of like Dirty Movies, with a sort of thingy curtain you have to move aside? Or maybe at least their own shelf?
I don't know. I think it's like if there's an age restriction on a game, then it's up to the responsible adult in this case.
Yeah, the thing is, people don't bother. They don't even watch it. They don't even know that there is such a thing as age restriction on games. Lots of adult people don't know that. Yeah, they don't know. They don't look at it. They just buy. They find out later.
I think
I know it. I've seen it.
Okay.
The thing is, that people often do they put the responsibility on the people making the game. I don't think that's right.
No,
because they have an artistic freedom, and I think they have a right the free speech, and they can make whatever they want. It's going to get a rating, and it's going to get treated by the rating. And the rating itself, the people who are responsible for upholding it, first of all, it's the stores.
Yeah.
Like games. When I've worked at GameStop, and I know this isn't it isn't like this everywhere. But where I worked, we wouldn't sell games to 18 over games to people who weren't 18.
That's good.
Some of them, like 12-year-olds, came in and they want to buy GTA 5. We said, yeah, bring your parents. And if your parents want you to have this game, then you can buy this game, or they can buy the game for you, rather. And often they would come back and they would have a parent with them, and they would say, yeah, like, of course this guy can... Some of the parents were angry. But we're like, how dare you deny my son to play it? We're like, yeah, that's our policy. We can't really change that. And some of the parents just came in and said, yeah, my son can buy this game. And then we casually asked them, do you know what this game is about? And then we said, okay, this game is about GTA. Let's say GTA, and this is about this and this and this and that. And afterwards, the parents say, no, you can't buy this game. So,
which is how it should be, perhaps.
That's probably how it should be, because we have to inform the parents.
Yeah.
And we have to... That's the policy of GameStop, I think. At least it was in our...
It should be a general policy for all stores, really.
Definitely. When it comes about movies, either if it's movies or games.
You missed something.
They should have something. This is a general idea.
General policy.
Yeah. It's like fine. Okay.
You're screwing up my train of thought. Anyway. So, yeah, I definitely think that parents should be informed and the stores should inform.
Of course.
Yeah, they should. But what about when the parents say, well, it's all right?
Well, that makes me wonder, because what is it about a game with an 18 age rating that makes it less important to listen to that rating than it is when a movie has an 18 plus rating? Because I don't think these parents would buy 18 plus movies to their kids. I'm quite convinced they wouldn't.
Exactly.
Because movies have been around for such a long time that everyone alive now sort of realizes that, okay, a rating for a movie stands for something. It's there for a reason. And perhaps games are so new in our society.
Of course, still not everyone follows that either.
Yeah, exactly. But games are still so new in our society compared to movies that maybe these ratings are not considered as important or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even know, because there's another argument to be done. And I want you to listen to this, because when I was a kid, I played a lot of GTA, and I watched a lot of R-rated movies, and I I've heard so many people like, oh, my first like cool experience when I watched RoboCop for the first time, a cheesy like 80s movie with a lot of blood and gore, and I mean, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm all right.
Exactly.
I didn't turn into a murderous serial killer just because I played violent video games and watched violent movies. So the question there becomes,
how much does it affect us really?
How much does it affect the kids really?
Indeed.
But that's also the thing, because people are different.
People also
The same thing, like, oh, but I didn't become some kind of weird angry maniac because I shut up steroids every day for the last 10 years.
Indeed, and then there are people who would be very, very easily affected. I mean, it's just like with horror movies. Some people can't watch something scary. They will break down and have nightmares like forever. While some people are like, this is like watching Winnie the Pooh. This does not scare me. So indeed, everyone is really, really different, and well, those ratings are perhaps there to protect those who are a bit more sensitive.
I feel like my first, if I talk to myself, my first real experience with violent movies, I was 11, I think, which is kind of old still. 11 is still, but I watched an R-rated movie and watched Gladiator. It was very bloody. I haven't seen anything like it.
No.
But I watched it with my dad, and my dad allowed me to see it. My mother was very, no, they shouldn't watch this. I was 11. My brother was even younger. He was 10, I think. And my mother was very, no, they shouldn't watch this. And my father was, no, it's going to be okay. I'm here. And I've always looked up to that thing that my dad did. Because he knows that I'm not going to be able to be shielded from this. He caught me watching Jumanji when I was like 6, which is a 11-year-old, and I was very scared by that movie when I was 6. And so he saw that, okay, he's gonna be able to watch these movies with friends and other people. So I'd rather have him watch the violent movies with me, where I can explain it, where I can hold him, where I can be there for him if he finds it too scary. So I watched Gladiator with my father, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite movies. Maybe a lot because of the experience that him and I had. Yeah. Where we watched it together. And he explained it, and he said, okay, now you can look away because it's going to be a lot scary. And sometimes I did. Sometimes I like peeked behind the eyes just a bit.
Well, that is really, really nice, because I think that's a really good way to sort of have your first contact with something that might scare you, that might give you nightmares or whatever. To have someone, when you're a child, have a grown-up with you who can just explain the situation. Because that's how I remember like watching movies when I was younger as well. And if there was something scary on TV, my parents would always say, oh, that's theatre. They're playing. They're making this up. It's not real. And then I would be like, oh, yeah, that's right. It's not real. It's like ketchup. It's not blood. Cool. Okay. And just having that realization from a young age, I think that made it much easier for me to watch things in general. It made me not be scared, and it made me not be very affected by what I saw, because I realized it's all theatre. And maybe that's some kind of thing that you experienced as well, like your dad being there and, okay, this is...
Then of course there is also the argumentation on whether it desensitizes that. You get this desensitization not only to the movies, but in some on some level to the reality as well.
I had a lot of the "Are you guys should young people and should children really watch the news?"
Indeed,
because the news was very like, oh, they showed all these horrible wars and stuff like that. Very, very kind of like violent stuff. Yeah. And I've had the discussion. I've had the discussion with my parents. I've had the discussion with other people when I've been grown up as well. So the desensitizing is kind of an interesting thing. Yeah. Because I have people in my life, and I have people I know that can't watch horrible movies. Yeah. No, not like horror movies, but like, say, Blood Diamond. Yeah. Where it's based on real events. And they see the pain and the horror that these children and the people just go through, and they can't watch it. I can watch it because I've been kind of desensitized, I think. but they can watch it because they can't watch it because it's too much.
Yeah, they connect too much with it.
Yeah, it's too horrible. They don't want to see it. It's the reality for them.
Yeah.
It's based so much in the real world that they feel like, no, I can't watch this, and I respect that.
Yeah.
I wish on some level I wish I was there. Still desensitizing stuff.
Well, I think that it's probably the same as with the other things, like from person to person, how much it affects you. But generally speaking, I think it can have a desensitizing effect. As for the news thing, I don't know. On one hand, it is reality. On the other hand, a lot of reality can also be traumatizing. So, in the end, it's up to each family and each like that to choose. But so I think it's also important that the choice is given. That it's not just like nestled in everywhere.
Indeed.
Kind of like casino commercials are nestled in everywhere.
Indeed, they are
Throw them
everywhere.
away, please.
Indeed. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I have another like a kind of question and experience I had recently, like last year, that I kind of want to I want to hear your take on it.
Okay, let's see.
It's not from the game world, and I'm sorry for all the gamers out there because it's from the movie world. It's gonna overlap a bit.
It's okay.
I hope that's okay. Yeah. So I've watched a lot of the Marvel movies, and I love the Marvel movies, and they're all fun and action coolness. And then last year I watched Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. And that's a hard movie. That is a very hard movie, and it's a movie that doesn't censor violence like the Marvel movies does.
Yeah.
Every time they shot someone, every time they punched someone, every time someone died, I could feel them dying. I could feel the shots. Every time I didn't feel, whoa, that was cool, like in a lot of gory movies. I felt, whoa, that's horrible. That's a crap thing. And to be honest, I think I like that more. That feeling that this is horrible, because it is.
It is.
Than the Marvel thing. Where you can punch someone and it's like, ha ha, he
and they
punched
fly
him.
into a skyscraper. And
and like people dies and stuff, and it's like, oh, that was.
No one cares.
All right, it's just a movie.
135 casualties. Nobody cares.
No, it's kind of it's desensitizing violence, so to speak. It's kind of like it's watering down violence.
Indeed, just making it to a
tool. That's the thing. Is that hurting more than the gory violence of Quentin Tarantino, for example?
Ooh.
What's your take?
Looking at me again.
Now looking at the both of you.
I'm thinking. Well, I wonder what actually desensitizes your brain more: to see violence and feel it. And feel that, oh my god, this is no, or is it seeing violence which isn't really bloody or really truly violent, just like a kind of cinematic violence?
I think in the long run it's the first, because I think at some point you see the stuff that makes you go ooh, and you just don't go ooh anymore.
So if there were if every violent movie was a Quentin Tarantino movie,
then eventually people would stop caring about that too.
Yeah, because then they would realize that, oh, this is just theatrics. Stage props.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, so maybe what stands out is not what desensitizes you, but that which is the common thing, the thing that you see often is what risks desensitizing you.
Yeah, probably. I'm thinking like, I feel like maybe it's like this. A movie like that once in a while can sensitize you.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, you felt it.
I felt it so much, and I felt I don't want to. I just want to go out and hug people.
Exactly, this is how you should treat
kind of like,
people.
Yeah, I felt so much. This is not how you're supposed to treat people. You shouldn't shoot them. You shouldn't punch them. You should just hug them and love them. And that is what that movie did for me.
That's super awesome.
Yeah, and it's not just how the violence is portrayed. It's the emotion in other people. It's the the tension and stuff like that. Because I can play a game like Doom, and I have, where you pretty much take your hands and you bury into the demon's skull and you rip him in two, and you see it very much like that. And I can look at it and be like, yeah,
Ripping
awesome.
demons.
And I have like heavy metal in the speakers, and I bring out my shotgun and I shoot a freaking hole in him, and it's gonna be like, yeah, that's kind of cool, man.
Oh yeah, see, that's where you and I differ too. I watch that and I go, oh, and then I switch games.
Yeah, and that's kind of
we're all different.
I get the fun part in that. I do. It's like, for me as well, it's demons. The demons are very much, you can kill as many as you want.
Still disgusting.
They're not gonna be, it's not a moral thing there, because they're demons.
Even without the moral thing, it's still disgusting ripping people in half or ripping things in half.
Sure. But it's kind of, in a way, me personally, I feel the kind of coolness in it.
Yeah.
But in the same time, if you do that to in like a Tarantino movie, it's the same thing. But the tension is so different, and the atmosphere is so different, and they're talking about people. Then again, we're talking about people, actual people, and then it's not as fun anymore.
No, it needs to be something non-human.
Yeah, it's suddenly it's like, and that's kind of one of the things that I kind of feel is horrible about games like GTA and Manhunt, where it's like
it's
non. It's very real violence, but it's very consequence-free.
No emotions connected to it.
Yeah. So yeah, I had actually a kind of fun comparison about GTA and Saints Row. Because in GTA, when you run someone over, they like topple realistically on the windscreen, and they go into the side and they die. Pretty much. They don't dwell a bit much, but that's how the characters act very realistically. In Saints Row, if you hit someone with a car, they fly like 200 meters up in the air.
That's fantastic.
It's still pretty horrible, both of them.
Horrible.
But one of them is more made for fun.
Yeah.
For the people who can enjoy that. Hopefully people who are over the age of 18, that it says on the box.
Indeed.
Because there is, and that's kind of the thing. Is there a thing for the age restriction thing? Should it be there at all, or is it like, is it okay to take a 12-year-old and play GTA?
I think it's so difficult because I've also seen R-rated movies when I was younger than I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I do not feel damaged. I still feel like pretty much a good person, acting responsibly in the world and everything. So I think, indeed, that younger people can take part of material that is not meant for them, that is actually made for older people. But I think certain ratings, they are there for a real reason, and I think the 18+ rating especially, perhaps, is there for a reason. But it's very much up to the person. Everyone is an individual, and I think they should be there still. Parents or the responsible adult person in a child's life should always be like the person to judge. Can this child handle this? Because hopefully you know the child you're responsible for. So yeah, but it's difficult. It really is difficult.
I think we're very civil. Come on, can we have someone who disagrees with us? Come on, Adam. You feel like you're very anti-violent stuff.
Probably the most, so yeah.
Come on, talk to
me.
Tell us your reasonings and your thoughts on the 18+ rating. Why shouldn't people watch these violence? Why is violence bad for you?
Why? What wouldn't it be? What positive thing can possibly come out of it?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yep.
I mean, the only thing I can think about is for entertainment, and isn't that kind of a depressing thought?
It is actually.
Yeah.
And still fighting games. Yay!
Yeah.
So it's this. I know it's this paradox when something becomes a game. So many things are suddenly okay. They're even considered fun. I think they're fun. I like going around and slashing demons in half with a huge ass sword. It's fun. And I don't mind the
I
blood
think a
on the
lot
game
of
screen. So,
of games and movies, for that matter, are a teaching perspective. It doesn't teach you anything. You don't become a better person or learn anything out of it.
It's just entertainment.
It's just entertainment straight up.
Is there something wrong with that?
Not necessarily, but the way it's done is not necessarily a very good way.
Maybe it's an overabundance of the just entertainment thing.
Yeah, maybe it is.
People need the
perspective gaining things. Yeah. The Quentin Tarantino movies, perhaps now and
or
then.
maybe I'm thinking more of like an Inside Out. There's no violence in Inside Out. But it's a very good movie, and it's a very thoughtful and learning movie.
Cool. I still haven't seen that one.
It's amazing. I've seen it like 3 times. I've even seen it on my native language of Sweden.
It's like
great.
If you think about like some movies that are better at this, or like some TV series, and you compare the old Xena and Hercules, they usually try to make some kind of point in each episode. Series now don't really do that. They just try to shove as much gore in as possible.
Yeah, there is this this development towards not being black or white, not throwing morals into a story, but sort of leaving the viewer to judge for yourself. Is this okay? Is this not okay? The show itself doesn't moralize. It sort of challenges you as a viewer to have your own opinion, which is really interesting, actually.
I think it's mostly a good thing, but it can also be very norm breaking. And I at times I don't like norms, but at times I really like norms.
Yeah, like the be nice to people norm is a good norm.
There has to be some sort of like, because nowadays the norm is not love everyone; it's love every one of your country. It feels like
I wouldn't even say it's that.
It's no, not even that. But I mean, that's big. The big norm. What most people thinks now. It's like if your country is okay, then everyone else can screw right off. That is we see it a lot in Europe. A lot of European countries.
Yeah, that is not new though. That's been around since like forever.
Yeah, but it's resurfacing after the Nazis, so to speak. We had it like a couple of 10 years of peace where people were like, okay, we should understand each other. Race doesn't matter, and now these people are starting to resurface. That feels like, oh, let the Swedes be Swedes. Let's make America great again. America first was the big thing of Trump, I think. And it's very anti, and not to go too much into politics, but that's kind of a norm thing too. I think we've gone very off topic here. I'm sorry.
I was just about to say, how many times am I going to have to remind you that we don't do politics in this show?
So sorry about that. But I feel like I think I agree with you, Adam, that it's very. I think movies and things shouldn't be afraid of make a point and stand for what they believe in.
There are 2 things that I'm concerned with. One is like if you don't have a moral character, who on earth are you going to root for?
Yeah.
There is no one to root for. There's just a bunch of assholes beating each other up.
You root for Tyrion.
But I also feel.
And the other thing, 2 things. The other thing is like general effect on society. General effect on society. Had to be done. I'm thinking like I read this thing from some Chinese philosopher or something once. He argued that even like just the wrong music could topple an empire or nation, you know.
Yeah.
And thinking of it in that kind of sensitive view, how does video games not just affect each individual person, but how does it affect a country or all people as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like games, like a lot of video games, especially, are very bleak. They paint a very bleak image of society, a lot more than movies does. There are not a lot of games that are like, oh, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, La La Land.
Yeah, like La La Land, or like a even like I try to make a good point here, where like it's gonna be fine. But I don't know. A lot of games are very like, yeah, we need to, like, let's just say The Last of Us, for example, which is a great character study, but the morals in that game is kind of out of whack. Most people get that the main character's morals is out of whack, and then it becomes very interesting. But for those who doesn't, I'm kind of worried. And then we have, I feel like a lot of games are. I feel we need to insert some happiness, I think. Yeah.
More optimistic games.
And more general morals, because
General
morals? Because
Sorry.
of course that's how we do it. Because what was I going to say now?
General morals.
Yeah, I was going from that. There's something about morals and society as a whole. It is almost seen as a dirty word. It's like people don't want to touch it. It's something old. It's something they don't like. It's something that belongs in the past or whatever. And I don't like that attitude at all. It's like... I think it's something essential to have a functioning society. It's all being civilized, being moral, being nice to each other. It's absolutely essential. It's like saying, "Oh no, I know I don't feel about like I like food anymore. Food is like old. The whole eating thing, that's like Stone Age kind of."
Wait, so like you were speaking about norms. Like some things are actually good. I mean, it's good to have some kind of like.
Moral norm,
yeah, some kind of morals, some kind of norms, and of course it can be a bit sensitive talking about what is right, what is wrong, but some things like try to treat other people in a good way, don't do bad things, whatever a bad thing is, that is, should be pretty much common sense.
One would think so.
Yeah, one would think so.
One would think so, yeah.
Indeed. But I have a theory, by the way, about these bleak, pessimistic games.
Shoot.
Can it be so that in a society which is actually like historically pretty healthy, I read somewhere recently that even though we hear a lot of news about violence and horrible things happening, it's actually at an historical low. So life today is better for most people than it has ever been, basically.
The difference is you hear about the things.
Exactly, the difference is you hear about it. So, historically speaking, today's society all over the world is actually a bit better, or quite a lot better in some places, than it has ever been. So maybe it's like with horror movies, like they sort of play a part in us experiencing feelings that we perhaps wouldn't experience in real life. Like by watching horror movies playing like these dystopic games, we sort of discover or explore a world which is not really ours. And by that we get in contact with these feelings that we do have. We do get in contact with the dark parts of ourselves, so to speak.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, if you see during like the Great Wars, a lot of the movies, they were like, happy musicals, keep people entertained, make them believe in a positive future, while perhaps in a world where there is a positive future, mostly, there is like space for these dystopic stories to be told, these horrible
that's
stories
just plain sad. I mean, now that things are pretty good, like at least in some places,
at least some places,
then that should be enjoyed, right? Shouldn't sit around moping about, oh no, things are so good for me now, I don't know what to do about this. We gotta fix it.
But I think that's the thing. Like many people at least, they want to experience like all kinds of feelings.
But the thing is, they feel like, okay, most of the world is a happy place.
relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking,
Yeah.
it's like
I don't have any numbers on that, but
yeah, no, but I've heard it from a lot of different sources that the world now is better than it has ever been.
Yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
much. It's less world war, less
violence.
less violence, less starvation,
Exactly.
and stuff like that. But I feel like the mental health
It's going down.
is worse now than it's been in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder if that will affect the happiness of the world. Because people are taking their lives in a very kind of disheartening rate. Disheartening rate, yeah. So I feel, I feel like I wonder if this has something to do with the bleakness of the movies as well. But I don't know, probably not.
Because, you know, human beings, they need to not just be there, they have this, you know, need for a reason of being there. And to have like a purpose and a will and a drive to achieve whatever.
Yeah.
And I think definitely everyone can have that, but I don't think everyone does have that.
No, definitely not. It's a good.
We're getting deep here.
Deep on the general gaming show.
Indeed.
So, when it comes to games and violence, just to cap it off here, I feel like a lot of the violence that we experience in games are for pure entertainment. And I feel if you can handle that, then great. But I implore you guys to also see the little deeper games. The things that one thing I want to take up here at the end is the Call of Duty games, which teaches kids that war is okay. War is even essential. And I feel like they have had that for a long time. It's like they just play these war games and they don't listen to the story, even if the story is shit. The story often in a Call of Duty is very war is necessary and all the people who fight in wars are heroes and great people. Very American way. And I don't disconcern the horrible things that veterans go through, and I respect the veterans for that. But I don't think war is necessary. I think war is something that is born of villainy and
frustration.
Greed and frustration and a lot of horrible things. So, and I feel like Call of Duty makes the violence okay, even if it's not gory necessarily, but it makes the violence popcorny and fun. Even though it's horrible, it makes it popcorny and fun. And now it's moving a lot more to the like future wars, which is I don't know, feels kind of weird. Maybe they've taken a lot of the realism out of it, and I think I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's something to be said about like the old World War II games, which was a lot more grounded in reality, and where you can have like in the World War One, I was kind of like disappointed to hear that Battlefield 1 didn't have like this ambiguity.
We're Swedish.
The two-sidedness of the everything. It's not. It's not the Germans who are the bad guys in World War One. That's not how it works. But in Battlefield 1, all the German guys talk like they're villains, and I kind of they kind of bug me a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's worth being bugged about.
What I'm trying to say is war is bad. People.
Exactly, war is bad. Don't do war. Be nice. Hug each other. Spread love. It's a good thing.
Spread love.
Indeed. Play good
Sounds
games.
nasty. Come on, spread your love.
Oh no.
No,
don't.
It's
Perhaps
definitely
don't.
nasty when you speak in that accent.
Indeed.
Hello.
Shut
Ross.
up now.
Oh.
But you know what,
We're
guys?
getting bonkers here on
We're
the
getting
game show.
bonkers.
Yeah, do you have the fact thing?
Yeah, I've got some facts here. Start out with saying that I've got some thoughts and I got some facts, and here's the facts. There was an Oxford University study that was finished last year. So, in an article on telegraph.co.uk. There's an article called "Study Finds No Evidence Violent Video Games Makes Children Aggressive." Apparently. So, playing violent video games is no more likely to be damaging to young children's behaviour than those considered harmless, an Oxford University study suggests. Well, this was pretty interesting read. So those of you who are interested in this, I recommend you to Google this.
I'm not surprised.
No, it's very, very interesting. And this also was very fun. The study, published in the journal Psychology of Popular Media Culture, found that children who play online games involving linking up with other players were less slightly likely to have problems relating to other children than those who played alone. So, honing social skills online. And also, this is also interesting.
Yeah, no. Have you ever heard like the online chats? Seriously?
I know.
People just sit around and yell swear words. They don't even talk.
Indeed. Some people do.
I
The loud
like,
ones
whoa.
do.
Here's the
ones
thing.
do.
There's no comparison of online chat and a being social IRL.
No, it's a real big difference.
Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of disconcerting for some reason. But
So apparently there's a connection anyway between like playing social games or games where you connect to other people online.
Definitely.
It makes you
Yeah,
a
then
bit more
wouldn't
social
board
skills.
games beat the crap out of video games completely?
Yeah, they would. They would.
Kids,
Play board games.
play board games.
Yes.
Yeah, play more
Also,
board games.
This is fun. Equally, those who mainly played solitary games generally performed better academically and were less likely to display aggression.
Generally perform better.
Yes, better. So, there's a pattern there. Like,
Yeah.
which game do you prefer? How well do you perform in school, and are you aggressive or not? So it's sort of
amazing.
like an extrovert-introvert thing going on here.
Of
Kinda
course,
cool.
video games only. This is like just like a small part because you have to take
course.
together with that. You have to music, movies, TV series,
social
life,
Family life.
family life. Exactly. There's like there are like
Exactly.
so many parts to it. It's just one part.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
feel like this. I love this. There's this image is like video games doesn't make you violent.
No.
Lag does.
Exactly. Fantastic.
True that.
Here's also some things that related to violence. Overall, those who played for less than an hour a day were less likely to have problems such as aggression than those who did not play at all, but those who spent more than 3 hours a day displayed higher levels of aggression and were less academically engaged. Well, of course, because they play games instead of studying. So, it's what you prefer. Do I prefer to study or prefer gaming? Gaming.
Gaming.
It's fun. Yes.
Well, it
I
kinda
certainly
depends.
did that.
Kind of depends. Studying what?
Exactly, studying what. And also,
I learned a lot of English in playing Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
for
so did
example.
I. That's where I learned my English as well.
Yeah.
That, the Harry Potter books, and the Philip Pullman His Dark Materials trilogy.
Oh, cool.
That's basically where I got my English from.
So I think we're done
Lots
with
of
the.
American TV from here.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things to be said, but I feel if you want to hop in with the discussion, do that in the comment section.
Yes.
And we will try to...
Hang on. Do you
Yeah.
already have 2 more points on that thing?
Yeah, 2 more points.
After the video game violence thing, there was something else on the list of things to talk about.
Well, we're gonna keep it to the video game violence today, I think.
Well,
But
short points.
but I'm going to do one more thing that I think we're gonna cap off the. We're gonna cap off the general gaming show every time with a trip down memory lane.
Oh.
And today I thought that the trip down memory lane, which is going to entail a video game memory and the feelings towards that. And I felt like Miss...
The miss.
The
in
miss.
the company.
The Miss
The
Lass.
miss. The lass.
The Miss Lass. Should,
Sorry about this
should
terrible accent.
Should do the trip down memory lane today. So if we can play that harp.
Well, I think one of my first gaming memories is from the SNES, the Super Nintendo. It's the first gaming console that I got when I was like 7, 8, perhaps 9, somewhere around that. I had this little 14-inch television, a fat one, small fat one, and a Super Nintendo. and I played some kind of Lion King game, I think. And I had some other Disney games as well. And it's so long ago, so I don't have any real sharp memories, but this very, very pleasant feeling still remains with me. Like playing Disney games on this cool little console, and it was so cool, and it was all so new. I wasn't used to this, having a screen, because I still belong to the generation who managed to become like 6-7 years old without having a computer in their lives. So it was really, really, really cool. And I remember having friends over, and we played Super Nintendo, having sleepovers, having dinner in my room, because we didn't want to go away from the game. And my parents were okay with it. So, yeah, real cozy first gaming memories for me. Disney games on the Super Nintendo and sleepovers with friends, and it was really, really nice.
Nice.
That's as vague as it gets.
That was great.
Yeah,
So
really pleasant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I say let's do that, and let's that's a very cozy number. So let's. I think let's end there. There.
Just one memory.
Just one memory.
Yeah.
You can do yours next time.
Yes, there will be so many memories.
Yeah, we hope to be able to do this a lot. So yeah, so we're gonna end the show there.
Yeah.
And to sign us off, here's Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy, this has been a great show. Bye.